Hi, I'm Melanie Stevens, and I am doing a demonstration about what a core sample is like and how we can infer from a cupcake core sample to what the Earth's crust core sample is like. Okay guys, today we're going to do a demonstration. What do you think is inside this cupcake? Cake, okay.
Yeah, cake.
Okay, you think there's anything else in there? Anything special?
Maybe a pattern.
A pattern? Okay. Does it look like there's a pattern?
Not visible.
No? Okay. How do you think you can find out without cutting it open or taking the wrapper off?
Sticking something in it.
Sticking something in it? Okay. What do you think? Do you think if we stuck one of these in there we could find out?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you know how a scientist would use something like that? No? No? Have you guys ever heard of a geologist before?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, geologists study the Earth's crust, and they do something that's called a core sample. So today our experiment is going to be taking a core sample from our cupcake. And you're going to be able to use the information that you get from the cupcake to draw some conclusions or make some inferences about what how you might compare the two. Okay? Alright. Time out. Okay, now you have your supplies, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to model for you what to do. So you have 5 little tubes. You should have 5. I can do that one. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your cupcake and you're going to go on the side. Don't do it yet, I'm going to show you. And you're going to push it in there. You're going to rotate it a little bit. And pull it back up. Do you see how I got a little bit of a sample in there? Okay, you're going to do the side twice.
How are you supposed to stick in there?
Don't take that off. Don't take
Like
that off.
this?
Yeah, and then rotate it a little bit. And pull it out. See how you got a sample? Okay. Okay. Now, I want you to take a paper and I want you to draw what you think is inside your cupcake. And these pencils, there's markers. Okay, time out. You guys are doing a good job with your drawings. I got it. I need it. Okay, label this drawing your first drawing. Just write on there somewhere, first drawing and your name. Now, I want you to repeat your core sample label we just did again, please.
With a different straw?
Different straw.
The same one.
However you think it should be done. Do you think that you can determine what the entire cupcake looks like from the samples that you've gotten right now?
No.
No? How do you think you might be able to tell? What you do different? Put it in the middle? Okay. So, if I was to take my cupcake, where would I put it in the middle? And just go all the way down? Or part way down?
Part way down.
Part way down? All the way? What do you think? All the way or part way?
All the way. All the way.
Okay. you guys try that. I want you to do 3 samples that direction. How are the samples different that you did that way?
There's more cake in it.
There's more cake?
This one has a different color.
A different color?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you think that you got a bigger depth that way? Okay. Now I want you guys to draw another picture, and I want you to draw a picture of what you think that the cupcake looks like on the inside now. And you can label this one the second run. Okay. What can you infer from your samples that you looked at? If you look at your samples that you took from going from top to bottom and one from the side, what can you infer what the inside looks like?
There's another color.
Another color?
There's 3 different colors.
3 different colors?
And that, that there's more colors in it.
Just that there's more in general?
And that
Okay.
there's a different pattern.
Haley, do you think that there, looks like Haley thinks that there's like layers and maybe a pattern to it? Taylor, you just think that there's, is this your frosting? Okay. And then your different layers? Okay. Alright. Are you pretty sure that your pictures and the data that you used, are you pretty sure that this is accurate?
I don't know. We don't really know like what the pattern is.
You don't know what the pattern is? Okay.
Not the exact pattern.
Kind of hard to tell with just that. Okay. Remember when we talked about at the beginning that we talked about a geologist? Well, I have a friend named John, and he's a geologist for an oil and gas company in Tulsa. And they did a little bit of work, I believe he said it was in the Texarkana area. And he works for an oil and gas company, and they drill wells. And he was gracious enough to let us borrow one of his portions of a core sample. This is what it looks like. He said this is actually sand. It's very porous. And this is just a tiny section of it, but that's how wide that it is when they bring it out. And it looks like they drilled down 26 foot 8 inches. So can you imagine what the core sample would be with that? Pretty massive, huh? Do you think it all looks like this? Or do you think that there's layers like what you guys have?
There's layers.
You think that's how the earth is made up, out of layers like that? So you can kind of infer from what you've seen with the cupcake and maybe what I've seen here that there's layers to the earth's crust, right? So you guys kind of got to be like what a geologist would be. Do you think that the samples are kind of similar when they come out? Okay. Core sampling is done by taking a hollow tube and inserting it in the ground. And then when it comes out of that, but it's huge that it comes out with and extracts that sample. So how do you think that your sample compares with an actual core sample?
Because you're taking the tube and sticking it in the middle, just like that one did.
So you think it's pretty similar? You think there's any differences?
Yeah. It's not like real dirt and stuff. Like ours doesn't come out as rock.
Doesn't come out as rock? Okay. How do you think that we could find out what was inside that cupcake?
Cut it open.
Cut it open? Okay. I've got some plastic knives here, one for each of you guys. You guys can cut that in half. Just cut it in half, and then I want you to draw a picture of what the inside of it looks like.
Can you put that on?
Sure. Time out. Okay. So as you're finishing up your pictures, think about this. Did what you inferred on your core samples and what you directly saw, were they the same thing, or were they different?
They were different.
Okay, let me see your stove. You got all the colors, right? what you thought they were they? Okay, maybe. Same thing, not quite the pattern that you thought it was going to be, right? Okay. Do you think that geologists can check what they infer about things the same way that you just did with the cupcake? You think they can just cut the earth open? No? So how do you think they check what they found?
They would do what we did. We did an example and then they can't be for sure.
They can't be for sure? Do you think there's some technology that allows them to kind of look at that? Have you ever seen when they're when they have like a plat map and they've got all the geology that goes along with an area, and they have maybe like where there's they think there's oil underground, and they've used technology to check that out? So maybe that's how they do that, because they can't just cut their cupcake in half and say, oh, well, that's the pattern that it really is, right? Okay. So to assess you guys on this, we're going to use our data from our core sampling, and I've got some extras right here in this basket, and the little pictures that go with them, and you guys are going to use those core samples to infer what you think that the inside of that cupcake looks like, and then I'll show you what the picture looks like of them sliced in half, okay? Do you guys have any questions about anything? No? I think you guys did a really great job. You really weren't too far off with what you guys had inferred you thought it was and what it actually was.